At para sa The Big Picture, makakapanayam natin si GMA resident analyst Richard Heydarian. Magandang umaga, Richard.
Good morning, Howie.
Okay, napag-usapan na natin to. Nung April lang, sabi ng Pangulong Duterte, he's ready to declare war over this garbage issue. And you were very clear in saying this is really out of proportion doon sa issue, no? Especially comparing it to yung reaction ng gobyerno natin sa mga ginagawa ng China. Ngayon, nire-recall na ngayon yung ambassador natin sa Canada at ilang pang mga diplomats ng Pilipinas doon. So do you think this is more proportional considering this issue na medyo hindi nga tinupad yung deadline natin sa Canada?
Well, Howie, there are three principles pagdating sa diplomasya. No? Dapat calibrated yung response mo. Dapat consistent ang response mo sa similar issues across the world. At dapat commensurate. So ang question dito is this such a horrible situation na dapat we threaten to actually yung severe yung bilateral relationship natin? And of course, magkakaroon nito ng implications for, for Filipino OFWs, for bilateral trade, among other things. No? So, sa aking palagay, Canada has to be also held accountable dahil nag-violate po sila ng Basel Convention. Ito yung isang international agreement na nag-regulate ng movement ng hazardous materials. So may private company ka sa Canada na deceptively nag-label dun sa 103 containers na recyclable ito when in fact ito yung mga hazardous waste, household waste. At itong issue has been lingering since 2013 and 14. So both the Canadian government na hindi nag-stop sa private company na yan and the Canadian private company and yung counterpart niya sa Philippines na kumuha ng container na yan should be held accountable. There's no question about it. Mali ang ginawa ng Canada. And we're also disappointed kasi Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, yun ang sinasabi niya sa Paris the other day na bibilisan nila, ayusin nila yan. But he gave the same promise sa atin back in November 2017 nung nandito siya for the ASEAN Summit. No? So clearly we have to be disappointed dun sa slow response ng Canadian government and I hope they act upon yung kanilang promise at pangako. This has been lingering for years. Nonetheless, the question is, commensurate ba na we will withdraw our ambassador and even consul general from an important treaty
ally? Presidential spokesperson Panelo, we're already warning them we're gonna sever diplomatic relations. Puputulin natin yung diplomatic relations with Canada over this issue. What's at stake though?
Alam mo, Howie, may mga times na even nag-war yung dalawang bansa. They maintain certain level of diplomatic interaction, no? So it takes a very extreme case. For instance, atake sa embahada ng ibang bansa, no? Some major event para mag-severe ng bilateral relationship, no? So for instance, ginawa ng mga European countries yan at US sa Russia, no? Nung naakusa ang Putin regime of being involvement in political assassination in European capital. So it took a very, very horrible situation para
okay, so let's put this in perspective. Sabi mo, may kasalanan yung Canada
no question
sa
about
atin.
it. Yes, violation
But ano
of
ba
basic
yung options ng Philippine government dito? So tama naman na nag-recall tayo ng mga diplomats. I mean, obviously, obviously we shouldn't be severing our relations with them. It's a friendly and important country.
So nagbigay ng ultimatum si Pangulong Duterte, no? Ang thing ko is, when he gave an ultimatum, was that a realistic ultimatum? Dahil sinabi ng Canadian ambassador yung isang buwan na they have now formed a special committee to address this issue. Dahil Howie, may legal issue yan. Sino magbayad dito? Yung logistics, hindi naman basta-basta po yan. No? We need time and patience.
May process na, in other words.
So did he give an ultimatum that was meant to be missed? Or did he give an ultimatum that was reasonable and then Canada missed that? I doubt that the ultimatum itself was reasonable in terms of its date. Tama na magbigay ng ultimatum, but yung time frame niya, I think, was not necessarily justifiable. Yun ang masasabi ko. But nonetheless, we have to make it clear to the Canadians na unti-unti namin i-downgrade yung bilateral relations. Hindi naman siguro kailangan itanggal mo yung ambassador and consul general among others. Siguro pwede ka magtanggal ng few personnels here and there as part of a gradated, parang escalating response. Hindi yung all the way na mag-withdraw ka ng ambassador man consul. I think that was a step too far naman.
Okay, well, kung na-offend ang Canada dito sa ginagawa ng Pilipinas, sa mga salitang nanggagaling kay Pangulong Duterte mismo, alam mo naman, sa diplomatic relationships, may tit for tat madalas, no? So ano naman yung pwedeng gawin ng Canada sa Pilipinas? Ang daming Pilipino na nakatira sa
Canada.
Howie.
So if you look at the numbers, lampas sa 750,000 resident na Filipino nandun, no? Ito yung mga may resident na. But almost...
ito, nasa TV screen nga, 865,500
So the numbers are almost 1 million, right? And then meron din tayo, I think, around 7,000 to 10,000 OFWs who are there on 7,000 OFWs. or actually they're on a temporary basis, but baka gusto rin nila magpermanente. So, 1,000,000 Pilipino ang pinag-usapan dito, no? Ito
Ano yung
nga eh.
Anong pwedeng gawin sa Pilipino doon?
Well, this is my point, Howie. Di
crackdown on illegal immigrants.
sinasabi ng administration, mabait tayo sa mga Chinese illegal worker kasi kung medyo strict tayo, baka paalisin nila yung mga Filipinos na OFW sa China. Well, you can make the same argument that
So we're very sensitive.
I'm sure marami rin TNT na
to
Filipino
China.
sa Canada. I mean, let's just be honest about it, no? At of course, gusto naman natin na ang Canada bukas sa mga Pilipino na middle class na gusto, to have a second life there, or you want to have a second residency or citizenship or so on and so forth. In fairness naman, Canada is not like, well, supposedly China na mag-kick out ng mga
Canada
Filipino.
is known for being a friendly democratic country.
Kaya nga para sa akin, this is not a commensurate response. Nonetheless, for me, in principle, regardless of what Canada does, mukhang hindi commensurate at exaggerated tong response considering may 1 million Filipino na nandun sa Canada. That is my point. In principle, kung meron kang 1 million Filipino sa isang bansa, hindi ka bigla-bigla na lang mag-downgrade or mag-sever ng bilateral relationship. Kasi isipin mo rin yung interest ng mga Filipino nandun. Libong-libong Filipino at mga thousands of Filipinos na gusto pang pumunta
And
sa
maaring
Canada.
may mga Pilipino doon na undocumented na maaring yung pinagbibigyan lang ng Canadian government doon. Pero kung magalit talaga yung Canadian government sa Pilipinas, pwede mag-crack down.
And
sa
Howie,
mga
let's
illegal
not
immigrants.
forget, this is the Trudeau liberal administration. Pwede bumalik ulit yung mga conservatives. There was the Harper administration, which was actually very conservative. And may katulad ni...
Meaning mas anti-immigrant.
Yeah, I think there was I think it was a mayor, Governor Ford, nanalo sa Toronto, if I'm not mistaken, who's kind of like Donald Trump. So my point is, kung toxic yung bilateral relationship natin, baka later on, pag less liberal yung government sa Canada, magkakaroon ng repercussions sa atin yan, mag-backfire yan. Porkit mabait tong administration ngayon sa Canada, it doesn't mean that we have to take them lightly and just say, we can do whatever we want to you.
Okay, well, obviously, wala naman total agreement even sa Philippine government o sa Administrasyong Duterte. Sabi ni DTI Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez, siguro hindi ito makaka-apekto sa trade and investments ng Canada sa Pilipinas o yung sa pangmatagalang relasyon sa pagitan ng dalawang bansa. You agree with this? This is this is a blip in the
We can say it for sure, but at the same time, of course, you can say na by the 1 billion yung trade natin more or less with Canada, actually lampas dyan. So we're actually talking collectively our imports and exports with them is 2.5 billion, no? Lampas doon. So the fact of the matter is 2.5 billion na I don't think mag-evaporate yan. Pero ang problema dito is opportunity cost. Kasi gusto pa natin kumuha ng investments from other countries. And if severed or downgraded severely yung bilateral relationship mo, yung kakayahan mo na mag-mobilize ng investments, mag-organize ng investment forums, ay maapektuhan din, no? And my point is this is also sending a wrong signal to our other Western allies, no, and friends na ang Pilipinas, pagdating sa old friends, ang tapang-tapang, no? At sobrang grabe yung response.
Old friends meaning America, Canada,
Europe, etc. So this is going to send a signal na this country is a little bit trigger happy. Biglang well go for all the way, no? Habang pagdating sa China and other countries, parang bait ng administration natin. We're very calibrated. We're very practical. So I think this is not only about Canada. This is also a message to our old friends na if we don't like what you're doing, we're willing to go all the way, no? And let's see what you're going to do in response. So I think this is more about, hindi lang ito Philippines and Canada. This is about Philippines and all traditional friends and allies, particularly in the West.
Okay. Maraming salamat, GMA Resident Analyst Richard Heydarian.
That's right.